Lisa. Today I have 4 photos and a sketch for you as I'm continuing on in April doing using products or photos or techniques that I've been saving up. And today it's about a photo. These are photos that have been taken over the time that we've traveled, just a few photos from different trips that we've made. This particular one, though, is pretty special to me. This was made in 1992 on the very first trip that my husband and I took together. It may be the only photo from that trip that has us together, because we didn't hand our camera to strangers and take pictures. We just didn't think about that much back then, and of course it wasn't digital, so we didn't just take up as many pictures as we do now. And I have used this. I scrapped it at the time. I was scrapbooking back then, although it wasn't, to me, I didn't think of it as a hobby, and I didn't know about all the great stuff you could have to scrapbook with. So I did scrapbook it, but I haven't done anything else with it since, other than print it out and use it. I think for a birthday party I had some pictures displayed. I've kind of saved it since it's a special picture. Well, there's nothing that says that I have to just use the picture one time. So I used it in 1992. I can use it here again in 2014, and I can use it again on my other layouts. It doesn't have to be just that one. The point of this layout is to kind of show some of the trips that we've been on and maybe get us spurred on to doing a bit more traveling. We've kind of let some things get in the way sometimes of going out and doing things and spending, again, having those trips together. So I wanted to do a page about that. I'm using this new stencil that I got, or it's new to me, stencil from Crafter's Workshop that I picked up at Hobby Lobby the other day that has the map of the 50 states. We haven't been to all 50 states. My dad has those, so I'm going to be using this on a mini album for him later on. And I'm going to stencil this onto my page and then put my photos around it. So here's the layout. Products I'm looking at are October Afternoon. I have the Travel Girl papers, and those match the photos really well, but I have them in 8x8, so I don't know if I'm going to cut some of these up or if I'm going to use more washi tape for my strips that go around. I really like some of the stickers, so that's why I particularly pulled this out. And as a coincidence, I happen to have on my desk this map print. I had pulled it out to just have something to put some of my stencil leftovers on. That's actually going to be part of my newsletter in April, so if you haven't subscribed to that, please do. Anyway, I've got this piece of map print, and the colors match pretty well, and of course it's the perfect thing to talk about travel, so I may try to incorporate this somewhere on the page along with some of these little arrow paper clips and, as I said, some of the washi. So those are some of the things I have in mind. I am using a cardstock background. This is Soft Sky from Stampin' Up! It's their lightest blue-green color. I chose it because it went with the Travel Girl papers, and I'm planning to put a white frame or mat around these photos, so that I needed something besides a white or ivory background for them. I matted my photos. I trimmed them down just a little bit and matted them so they ended up finishing off at 3 inches square. I'm not going to glue them at this point. I'm just placing them so I can get my stencil in the right spot, and that large photo at the bottom turned out a little bit smaller than I had thought when I was laying out the sketch. So I'm pulling my stencil down a little bit because I want to have Alaska and Hawaii sort of in the right place where they belong. And just taping that with some washi tape, and then I'm going to cover the edges of this so that I don't end up with paint all over around the edges. I want to make sure that I get my paint just where it belongs. I'm using craft paint because I want a real good coverage here, and it will be a flat finish to it, but that's fine for me for what I'm doing. In fact, I think that's probably more realistic for the map than having it real glossy. This one happens to be a glossy paint but still finishes off kind of flat because it is craft paint. Now the green there, I was matching to some October Afternoon paper from that same collection. I'm not going to actually use that particular little card, but it gives me all the colors from the collection. And I added some beige paint to soften it a little bit so it wouldn't be such a bright green. I just happen to have beige out instead of white, and that's working out pretty well to kind of dull down some of these colors. Using a stiff bristle brush and not too much paint is the best way to use paint on your stencil. For my next color, I'm using blue and some green together, and my first efforts here don't come out so hot. It ends up being this really dull color, and it's just not what I was going for. So I added some more green to it, and I got a little bit closer. Aqua is my favorite color, but I do not have any aqua color paint. So apparently I'm going to have to remedy that. I don't even have any in craft paint. So I keep mixing, and I like to mix. I think it's fun. I enjoy doing this. My husband has to do real exact matches when he's refurbishing a pinball machine, and he hates mixing paint. But I enjoy it because I don't have to make exact matches. I just have to make colors that I like and look close enough, with my papers. Doing a little bit of orange here. I've got all the green areas on the eastern side of the country and the west coast, and I decided to do the Rocky Mountains and all in an orange and some yellows there through the middle of the country. I know there's plenty of green in lots of these areas, but I just wanted to have some good variety in my map and colors. So there's plenty of dry areas and plenty of green areas all over the place, but I just wanted to have, let's say, some good variety in colors and still match up with that October Afternoon papers. So I peeled off the stencil, and I was really pleased with how this came out and what clean lines that it had. Using the stiff bristle brush and sort of dabbing that on rather than trying to paint it on works the best. So you're not really trying to rub the paintbrush, you're just pressing down over your stencil. And now I'm doing Hawaii. And I did smear the paint just a little bit up there in the upper right corner near Washington State, but I think I can fix that later on. I'm taking a black permanent marker and adding dots at places that we have visited. So we have a real map in the house like that where I've put pins in it, but I just wanted to do a few of these to kind of give an idea of places that we've been. And this is actually what ends up inspiring the title for the page, More Dots Wanted, so that we go out and do some more traveling. It's time to start figuring out where these photos are going to go, and I do need to put some more embellishment on. I know I want to use that one sticker with the orange and the greens there. I really like that, what it says and how it looks. And I discard some of these other stickers because they're pink and they just don't match my color scheme. I really like the All Who Wander Are Not Lost. It is our habit to get lost usually in our first outings. There's some cute cutouts there, but those don't always work with my theme, and also I just didn't have quite enough room with that map and all the other things. I could only use so many embellishments, or I'd have just, in my opinion, a little overcrowded page. I do have this paper though that has some words in it that I can cut into strips. I'm going through and looking for some other papers. There's one there with arrows, and I decided not to use it. I did have that map print that I wanted to work in, so I may put that behind some of the embellishments or even cut it in strips. But I think the base of this is going to end up being washi tape. There's a couple of different words. I could do adventure, journey. I can't remember what all of them were, but I ended up deciding to cut explore out of that paper. You'll see that in a few moments. I'm using the lines on my grid mat to line up the washi tape, so it's actually straight for a change. Notorious for getting my washi tape crooked. I think this one I get crooked and I have to move it. Yeah, there we go. I have to move it a little bit to get it on there straight. And just wrapping these to the back. So this will create kind of a foundation for those photos to lay on, and that one sticker will get a home here right above the orange washi tape. And then I'll have plenty of room for my title, and I've got a little bit of journaling to go in there too. I'm still looking at those words. The ones that are going up and down, I don't really have enough room, so I might as well do the ones going across. And I come back with the word explore. I still have one other washi tape I haven't used. I printed out my journaling,
just in some strips, and then I have one there that tells where each of the photos came from, since they're from several different places around the country. I'm going to get my words on here. Some of these have a sticky back, but like most thickers and those bottom letters, they're a basic gray. Then I'll stick without a little extra adhesive, so they're going to need some Tombow adhesive once I get them in the right spot. That photo of my husband at the bottom is kind of funny because he's afraid of heights, and he says he has a healthy respect for heights and that I do not, which is probably true because I'm more likely to lean over the railings and kind of look around a little bit. I don't do anything dangerous. He just thinks it's dangerous. Now these strips of journaling I'm putting on with adhesive and then adding a brad since they're kind of bulleted items there. Got plenty of brads that match my color scheme. I didn't end up using the word down at the bottom that I thought. I just didn't have quite enough room, but I have the word look up here at the top, and if I trim it off a little bit, I can have it so that the L is inside my paper clip. And then I can add some other washi or something else to go up there at the top with it, so it's not all alone. I do have this washi from My Mind's Eye that's in a chevron pattern, and it's a really good color match to what I'm doing. So I'm going to put a little bit of that up there at the top. And I know I want to use that map, and the paper already has some stenciling and stuff on it, so it's got quite a bit of color that's just right for what I'm doing here. I'm going to use it as a foundation for this sticker, kind of give it something to lay on, and it takes me a while to get it down to a good size so it's not so large and yet still keeps some of the colors in it that I wanted. Here we go, we're getting a lot closer. And I've got a little strip there that I think would work nicely under the word look to kind of carry that same paper up to the top. I ended up picking out a different piece of it just to get some different colors and a little bit straighter piece. And we'll glue that in place. We're getting close. I need a little bit more embellishment. I went back through my sticker sheet. There were some small stickers there I considered, but I really feel like I need something round. So I have this paper from Cosmo Cricut that has all these little logos for travel, and one of them is the compass. That's what I'm looking for, the compass. And then there's an arrow, and there's a car. So I'm going to punch out one of those. The little car is appropriate. We flew to a lot of these locations, but we'd always rent a car. And then I can add those on with some pop dots. And I usually go around the edge of them with a black marker so they don't look so punched out. I also want to add a few dots.
So all finished up, added a few little dots to things, and I added these with some dimensional adhesive. So followed the sketch pretty closely. I just kept a little bit of space in here so you kind of see that coloring coming down through, and I didn't put any dots over here. I didn't feel like I needed them. The title stretched up this way a little bit more because my stenciled image really didn't take up quite as much room as I thought. So let's look at some close-ups. I really like how the stencil came out with the paint and different colors, and that type of paint has a very flat texture to it, but I think that's fine for this kind of work. And that's my page. So thank you so much for joining me today, and in this April series we're taking advantage of using some things that maybe I've saved, like photos or different techniques or papers or whatever, I always love to get your comments and thumbs up if you like something. Please check out my blog. You'll find the sketch there, as well as a sketchbook from last year with all of the sketches that I did last year are available for purchase there, as well as the classes that I teach. So thank you so much for watching.